Hi guys, welcome back here. We got a live stream going. Talking about Padres spring training in general and whatever questions you guys have. Let's get into it. From what we've seen, I guess the first question off the bat for you is I went to spring training yesterday and I saw Campy's new stance for the first time. I'm not a fan of it particularly. It looks like he was topping everything and a little bit later on things than he should be, but if he's comfortable with it, he's comfortable with it. But what are your thoughts on it?
It looks weird.
I hate it.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm tired of shit. It's obviously 8:21 over here in San Diego, so I'm sure a lot of you guys probably aren't tired if you're up, but I'm not a morning person. But let's go back to Luis Campusano, right? It's an awkward batting stance. It's unique. It's something I've really never seen before in terms of someone who I kind of expect to be a power hitting catcher. And I think he has the stats at least to back it up. I think last year after he came back, he had over an 800 OPS and he was great. I thought he looked great. I don't know what prompted him to change it. I don't know if he was uncomfortable with the swing last year. I know even like after he came back, I noticed a little bit of a change in his stance or at least his approach. Um, so to come, see him go to spring training and it be entirely different again, I can't imagine he's that comfortable yet. And obviously, it's a great start to spring training for the Padres as they start 0-3, got their asses kicked by the Dodgers and lost a 1-run ball game to the I think it was the Cubs yesterday. Um, so
Brewers.
yeah, we're great. Yeah, there we go, Brewers. Um, there you go. It's a great start. It's a great start. Not really. It's horrible. But again, it's just spring training. It's really just what they're trying to work on right now. So I could imagine for Luis Campusano, he's trying to work on it right now. He's trying to see if he's comfortable or not. Um, I can't imagine being comfortable in a stance like that. So I don't know if he's comfortable in a stance like that. Like I said, he's supposed to be like a power hitting catcher. So I don't see how that could be comfortable for him. But I guess whatever works. And if he's going to be able to adapt going into the season as our primary catcher, then um, I'll be excited to see. And I've always been excited to see how he progresses as a hitter. I think he can be one of the best hitting catchers in baseball. And I think last year he showed that when he came back from injury. And I think he's ready to show it again this year. I hope this new batting stance is something that he's able to get comfortable in by the Korea series because it's not really a big series. I mean, it's just a 2-game series, but we need to see him be able to produce as our primary hitting catcher.
100%. I mean, we do have Kyle Higgy, though he's not really a offensive catcher. He's more of a defensive catcher. He came along with the Yankees trade, so he'll be the backup for now. I'm assuming until they think that Ethan Salas is ready. Saw him yesterday. He looked good. He made got on base, did good. Didn't see anything really special. It was an average game for him, which, hey, at 17 years old in spring training, facing guys 5, 6 years older than you, that's pretty impressive. Um, this guy, Wes Clark on the Brewers, was absolutely just destroying Padres pitching. Like his first two at bats are absolute nukes into left field. Leading into the next thing is Pedro Avila did not look really good yesterday. Looks like he was struggling
Oh,
around the plate. He was hanging stuff. He could not get guys to whiff. He couldn't get guys out. A lot of hard contact against him. Hopefully, he's just trying a few things out and then he can make adjustments from here. But that's not really something you want to see out of somebody that's going to be your fifth starter. It's the first start of spring training for him, so I'm not too worried about it. He just definitely looked a little rough around the edges to start off.
yeah, he looked bad. He needs to work on his PFPs too. I know he made a fielding error. And
Mm-hmm.
again, it's
Oh,
spring training. You won't. Yeah, it was bad. You want to see him work on some things. You want to see how they do in situations where they're kind of uncomfortable. But um, I don't know. It's an open competition to me. I don't think there's like a set fourth and fifth. I know for right now it's Musgrove, Darvish, and King. I think those are your solidified top three. As far as the 4 and 5 go, in my personal opinion, I think it's open. I think it's an open competition between Brito, Vasquez, Avila, and some other guys. But I think those are going to be the main three that are going to be competing for a spot. We still need a lefty arm. Speaking of lefties, Cody Bellinger just signed to the Cubs. We'll talk about how that affects Blake Snell here later. But yeah, it's 3 games in, and I wouldn't say I'm concerned. It's just kind of disappointing that we haven't had like a wow, like that was amazing moment, like anything like that. And I don't like going based off um you know, an inning or one performance or anything like that. So it's fine. But out of the hitters, I haven't really seen anything of note. The pitchers, if they've only made one appearance so far, and they look good, hey, that's great. Of course, we'll keep tabs on them and we'll talk about them later if they keep performing great. But out of the hitters, man, I think Fernando, Manny, Xander, they'll be fine. Jake changed his stance a little bit too. His bat is um I don't know how to describe it, but it's different. Um, it's just weird. Jake hit a home run, and that's about it that I can recall from the hitters. So you got like Nathan Martorella, who I think he hit a double or a home run yesterday. Um,
Good double.
yeah, so I don't really know what to expect out of the lineup. I mean, I don't think it's the same situation as a few years ago where going into the season we literally only had Manny, but now it doesn't feel as deep without Soto, and it's not as deep. We don't have a DH. We're missing 2 outfield, not even missing 2 outfielders. We don't have 2 outfielders, unless you consider Profar a legitimate outfielder. So I don't really know what to expect out of the Padres, especially with the first game being what 25 days away. So they have 25 days to, or not 25, maybe like 20-ish. They have that amount of time to kind of figure out what they need. And a lot of rosters are already set. A lot of rosters are already coming around together. And we're still missing key pieces. Cody Bellinger just signed, and we need a lefty pitcher. Obviously, Cody Bellinger's agent is Scott Boras. Blake Snell's agent is Scott Boras. We're starting to see that they might be losing leverage on long-term deals. Cody Bellinger, I expected to sign like a 5-year deal minimum. Signs a 3-year deal with opt-outs after his first 2 years. Could we see something like that for Blake Snell?
I don't know. Wait, Belly's making what, 26 a year?
Like 26,
26
yeah.
point something a year.
Mhm.
What I saw from Snell is he wanted a long-term deal. I think the last thing that was reported was 9 year, 270 million, which yeah, you're getting him for 30 million a year, which is going to be a steal for his first 4 or 5 years before injuries and old age start to kick in and start to derail your career a little bit more. We saw Kershaw. Kershaw was amazing throughout his early 30s, but after a certain point, the back becomes a problem, the elbow, certain things just don't heal as quickly anymore. And with Snell, you always get the wonderful first half of the season that he has, where for some reason he's just struggles. He walks everybody in existence. He doesn't put guys away as much. He's wild. He lets up more runs, and then for some reason, as soon as the All-Star break hits, it's a different ball game. But do you want to deal with that for 9 years for 30 million for a guy who's going to be 38 and 39? Even realistically, from 37 to 39, you don't want to pay anybody 30 million a year, especially a starting pitcher that's going to probably not be as good anytime. No. So there's that. Scott Boras is crazy. I know teams have offered him a 5-year deal. I would do Snell on a 5-year deal. Even then, I still wouldn't want to pay a 35-year-old Snell $30 million when we're already going to have Musgrove at 35 for 30 something or 20 something million. You can't do it.
20, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still 20 million for a 35-year-old pitcher.
Yep, it's a lot.
Which we do have a lot of holes. We also have a lot of guys that haven't signed anywhere yet, which as much as I'm like, hey, let's go sign somebody, I keep thinking about all the times that we signed somebody in February or January, and realistically, they don't do as well with the Padres. But At the same time, is there really a better option within our minor league system with somebody that is ready that it wouldn't hurt to take a flyer on somebody? I
Yeah,
don't know. I'm still going to push for Garrett Cooper. Profar. Let's talk Profar. Do you see him as the center fielder or a left fielder, like potentially?
left fielder. I can't give him center field if I'm being completely honest. I'd rather, and I mean, Fernando's already solidified and right. So yeah, really
For
all that's
sure.
open. Really all that's open right now is I wouldn't say all that's open because Profar, I don't think he should be your starting left fielder, but really what's open is center field. That's like Azokar,
Merrill?
Merrill, Merrill, yeah, Marcy. I don't know. There's a few options, but like, are those guys even ready? Jackson Merrill. I mean, a lot of people were talking about his swing and how huge. I guess he's big now. He's taller than Fernando. Um,
Yeah, he's big.
is he ready though? I don't think he's ready. If I'm being
He
completely
didn't
honest,
look
I hope
bad
I'm wrong.
yesterday.
Yeah,
He
I can
didn't look
imagine
bad
him
yesterday.
looking yesterday. I just think like last year for most of the season in the minors, he struggled. Ground ball rate still high. And all I can go off is last year. And I want him to be good. I think he can be a solid ball player, but I don't know if he's ready. And I don't know if it's smart to really throw him into this kind of situation yet. I mean, he's in open competition. If he heats up in spring, I'm sorry. Yeah. If he heats up in spring, uh, if he heats up in spring, then yeah, hey, throw him in that competition, see how he could do, and see if he can be a valuable ball player. I mean, the thing that you kind of see around the league is that the teams that win, man, they got some young players that can produce. Um, the Padres have been in desperate need of young guys that can produce because the last few years, the only guy that I can remember that was young and produced for an extended period of time was Fernando. Um, Trent Grisham didn't produce. He only produced for like 60 games. Um, Ryan Weathers was only good for a handful of games. Mackenzie Gore got traded. CJ Abrams was up in the majors for a little bit. He was all right. But we haven't had that one young guy that turned into like I'm not even asking for much. I'm asking for like a 750 OPS, maybe like a 109 OPS plus. And a guy that can provide solid defense. I'm not asking for much. If Jackson Merrill can be that, I'll be happy. Um, Especially considering the holes that we have in the outfield right now, and the fact that I'm sorry again. The fact that we're missing outfielders, so I'm not asking for much. Um, Devin asked, "Do you guys think Kike would help the team?" For those who don't know, Kike was set to be an option for the Padres. It's down to 4 teams. I believe it was the Padres, Angels. I forgot the other two, but I know two of them were the Padres and the Angels. So 2 Southern California teams. Um, I don't think he'd help. What about you, Chase?
Mm, hey, if it was ever against the lefty pitcher, hey, the Padres would be damn near unstoppable with Kike in that
Yeah.
lineup. You
Hmm.
have Tatis, Machado, Kike, Xander. You'd have some, and Campy. You'd have some really solid hitters against a left-handed pitcher. So, hey, if that's what we were going for, yeah. But we both know that Kike is very predominantly a left-handed hitting specialist. He matches left-handed hitting. Yeah, he could provide some defensive value. He can play a few different positions. Let me pull up his numbers from last year. I don't know how well he did, but he's not horrible. 237 with 11 home runs, 61 RBIs, 110 hits. Not horrible. Uh, Depth outfielder could be great. Or hey, he could man center. I know it's not going to be the greatest thing in the world. He's going to be 32. He actually had a negative WAR last season. That's not good. So we really need more of a DH than anything. Like Garrett Cooper just is like the one cheap name that keeps coming to mind where you kind of need someone that's a right-handed power bat just for DH. I mean, you can rock Machado for the first part of the season, but what are you going to do after that? Who's going to be your DH?
Yeah.
Uh, I can't think of it. Like,
I can't either.
there's not really a solid power hitter that we can think of. Oh, in the minor leagues, he's gonna work out. Not really. Um, it's not looking good in that aspect. Uh, hell, what other DHs can you think of that would be
I can't,
solid
bro.
and cheap other than
I,
Garrett
li-
Cooper? Yeah.
I literally can't. I can't think of any. It's really disappointing that it's February 25th and we're still missing some key pieces. Whereas last year, I know it didn't go as planned, but last year the roster was filled by this time. I feel like it was already done. Much better starting rotation last year. On paper, it was a much better lineup. Solid bullpen. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect this year. Like, there's so many key pieces that are gone. Um, Josh Hader and Blake Snell being two of the biggest ones. I know Josh Hader doesn't pitch a lot of innings, but and don't get me wrong, I think this bullpen's going to be one of the best bullpens in baseball. I think they got it. I think there's a lot of depth. I think I like that it's a cheap bullpen, and I like that there's a good mix of righty and lefty arms, and there's solid depth. But dude, we need some hitters, man. Um, really, you look throughout the lineup, and let's look at other lineups, right? Ronald Acuna Jr. and Matt Olson can both slug 40 home runs. You add Austin Riley to that, he can probably slug 30. Who else is there on that team? Ozzy can probably slug another 20. Sean Murphy probably another 25. Like, dude, these lineups that you're competing against are no joke. Trey, Bryce, and Castellanos and Schwarber, they can each slug 30 themselves. Like, these lineups that you're playing are no joke. The only guys that I can see hitting 30 home runs in your lineup right now are Tatis and Machado. Bogarts hasn't hit 30 in his career. Maybe he did it once. I don't see him doing it. Jake can't do it. Ha-Seong Kim can't do it. Profar is maybe hitting 10. Campy probably isn't hitting 30. Like, you don't have, and like one of the guys that can hit 30 has a bum arm right now. He can't even play the other side of the field. He might be able to, but last year he's coming off a down year. He still hit 30 home runs. So hey, I think he'll probably hit 30 home runs again. Fernando, I'll pencil him in for 35 plus. But you don't have a lot of power in your lineup. This is like a small ball team. This feels like a team that's supposed to be in a lot of pitching duels. You don't even have the pitching staff for a pitching duel. The only guys that can do that are Musgrove and Darvish. That's it. Maybe Michael King. I haven't seen too much on him.
Yeah.
His arm he's already kind of been injured a little bit. And hey, I like the guy. I think he's gonna be great. I think he's gonna be solid. You don't have the pitching staff for a pitching duel, so I'm kind of confused. What's the philosophy here? It's weird. I can't pin it. I don't understand what happened from year to year that made the Padres go from one of the top spending, and hey, they're still going to be one of the top spending teams. They're still spending a lot of money, but it's just not going to the right resources. And that's the most frustrating part, is that it's not going to the resources that I would prefer it go to. I'd rather Soto still be on this team than Xander. But of course, there's nothing you can do about that now. The problem is we got 20 plus more million to spend, and it's going to have to be for cheap guys that really I don't think are going to make a difference. I don't know what to expect this year. So we'll see, man. We definitely need a power hitting DH, but I can't think of any that are on the market still.
CJ Cron and Garrett Cooper.
That's it, right?
That's price range right there. And
Yeah.
CJ Cron is the more expensive option.
And they're both righties, so it's like,
yeah, we
know.
don't really have a. I'm gonna look this up right now. The other MLB free agents that are still available, but those really are kind of what we got. So catchers are basically all signed. Brandon Belt potentially, but he's not really hitting with a lot of power anymore. Garrett Cooper's still there. CJ Cron.
What lefties are there?
Votto.
We're so fucked.
If we wanted to go left fielders and potential DHs, Eddie Rosario, which I think is a solid option. I just don't know how much money he would command, especially getting this late into it. It could be one of those deals that it could really be beneficial to us. We'd have a solid left fielder, or I wouldn't say solid left fielder. He's not really great at defense, but he provides a lefty power bat to line up and you could throw him in at DH, which is all the Padres could ask for at this point. Robbie Grossman, not really the biggest fan. Austin Meadows could be an interesting flyer. He had a negative WAR last season, though, but I believe he's a lefty. Center fielders that are still in the market. Michael Taylor, Adam Duvall, Billy Hamilton, Adam Engel, Kyle Lewis.
Dude, this is so bad.
Adam Duvall wouldn't be bad as a DH and potentially
No,
a
yeah,
left
I
fielder. I
agree.
wouldn't throw him out in center, though. He's, 35 years old?
He's old.
Yeah,
I
so
don't know, man. This is
let's see. DHs, Brad Miller, Tommy La Stella is considered a DH for some reason. Darren Ruff, Winker just signed. That's it.
slim pickings. They got to make a trade, man. They need to be in the trade market heavily. I mean, realistically, you trade for a lefty and you sign a righty, and boom, now your lineup's looking a whole lot better. Who the hell can they even trade though? I don't even know who they could trade, bro. I mean, it seems like no matter what, the trade would have to hurt.
Oh yeah.
Unless you're only giving prospects, but like the guys that you're looking at, like Frelick, Duran, they're all young guys that are going to command prospect capital. So I don't really know what to think. Obviously, you need a lefty. You're in desperate need of a lefty, preferably a center fielder. But right now, you're
You
looking
could
at
throw a flyer at Eric Lauer.
I think that's what they're going to do, if I'm being honest. I think they're going to just get a lefty that can fill some innings.
I'm looking at it right now. So let's see. Lefties, Dallas Keuchel, Eric Lauer. Is Boyd right? Matthew Boyd lefty? I can't remember. I think
lefty. I'm pretty sure he's lefty.
I think Odorizzi's a right-handed pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Those two are right-handed pitchers. Rich Hill.
Ew.
Julio Urias is still available for some reason. I didn't know he was still a free agent. And Snell. Those are those are what we. Those are our options. Those are our options.
Yeah, I think Julio Urias might be playing in Mexico here in a month. So Blake Snell is obviously the best option, most expensive option. From what we've heard, he's down to two teams, and I believe that's the Yankees and the Angels. Kind of surprising that the Angels are here trying to make a big move. They just lost the biggest superstar in baseball, so I'm surprised to see them trying to. Yeah, I saw what Charles said. He wants them to sign. He's been kind of pushing them to sign.
I'm loyal, but there's gonna come a time.
Yeah, of course, and it comes time for everyone, right? Where everyone's like, "Hey, like I'm loyal, but my career is only so long. I only have so long until I'm done, and I don't want to be done with one playoff hit." I think he has one hit in the playoffs. One playoff series that they lost. Yeah, no, you can't go out. One of the best baseball players of all time cannot go out like that. So, again, I'm surprised to see the Angels are players for some of these bigger stars, considering the roster construction, considering who. I mean, you got Anthony Rendon basically saying he doesn't want to play. It's a weird mix of what they got going on over there, but it's also a weird mix of what we got going on over here in San Diego. It's very confusing considering like the season starts here soon. You got to get guys to adapt to San Diego, to adapt to new guys in 3 weeks. You're probably not even going to sign a guy this upcoming week or trade for a guy this upcoming week, but often, Chase, I think it was you who brought this up. Guys that we trade for or guys that get traded later in the offseason, they don't tend to perform well, especially in the beginning. So now you're looking at a time frame where the guy has to adjust to a new team, a new ballpark, just a whole different organization. And you're not even giving him that much time until the season starts. So I don't know, man. I think I'm not going to be watching those Korea games. That's way too damn early to get up and watch baseball. Unless it's a
not that
Saturday or
early.
Sunday. I don't even know what days those are.
It's Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh, yep. I will not be up. Not, yeah, that's not, nope.
Oh, it's
Um,
3 a.m. Holy
yeah, dude,
shit.
3 a.m. Yeah, how am I supposed to get up at 3? I'm not going to be watching. Let's just say
Oh,
that.
it's
Right?
3 a.m. for me. That means it's 2 a.m.
2
for
a.m. for
you.
me. Yeah, 2 a.m. I'm not going to be up. Um, so I don't know. It's going to be, I don't think the roster is going to be filled by then. I really don't think the roster is going to be filled by that Korea series.
Oh, wait, hold
Obviously, you
up. Oh,
don't.
wait.
Obviously, you don't need it to be filled. You only need your first two starting pitchers, a complete bullpen, and probably Jackson Merrill is going to fill out that last left field or that last outfield spot. I'd assume so. Um, we might get our asses kicked.
Yeah, I had originally was reading a tweet. It sounded like some concerning news, but it's fine. For those of you who probably just saw the Dennis Lin tweet, Yuki Matsui won't pitch today after his back tightened up yesterday. He's day to day, but he's feeling better now. So that's nothing you'd like to see. You usually like to see your pitchers not having back problems spring training because
Yep.
hey, it's the start of a very long season, and that's not concerning at all. Anyways, to other pitchers, Jairo Idiarte looked really good yesterday. The ball was exploding out of his hand. He didn't have a ton of strong contact. He looked really good. Clay Dungan, a guy who I'd never heard of until yesterday, hit a bomb. He looked good at the plate. He's a shortstop. Mortarella looked really good. He had his double. He had pretty good plate discipline. Didn't strike out. Actually, he did strike out once, but played good first base. If he does really well, then we have a potential first baseman after Cronenworth where Cronenworth can go back to being a potential just utility infielder and giving guys a break on the infield while they DH, which would be great. Who else did we say yesterday that would?
You talked about Uriarte. I think that's earlier I said that's like we haven't gotten any preseason hype or like spring training hype or anything like that. He's gotten hype. He actually looks the ball's exploding out of his hand. Like you said, the ball is exploding out of his hand. He looks fantastic. How old is he? 22, 23?
22, I believe.
Yeah.
Let me look. Find it right
Hey,
now.
man. I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures. I don't know if he's ready, but
22.
hey, yeah, he looks great. He looks great. You see all his bullpens. You saw his stuff yesterday. He looks good, man. Keep getting them innings. I personally, this is like, I don't know. You got Snelling, you got him, you got Lesko. It's an exciting top three when it comes to your farm system.
You saw
right?
Muzar too. He's kind of the forgotten
Yeah,
fourth.
that's true. Yeah, he looks good too. I mean, there's guys that it's a good thing that the depth isn't that bad in the farm system. But yeah, you talked about Uriarte, man. That's someone that definitely deserves the props right now because hey, he looks good.
Yeah. I got one other thing to mention. I know Eggy Rosario's profile says he's 5'9", 150. That is an absolute lie. I am 5'10", 180, and that man is straight 10 times more yoked than I am. He's got to be at least like 2 pounds. There's no way. I was looking at him. I'm like, they say he weighs 150. There ain't no way, dude. That guy's
Eggy,
built. He can bombs. Like, there's no way he weighs 150.
Eggy was going to be like our depth infielder last year until he got hurt. We were kind of excited for Eggy. We kind of thought like, hey, if this guy can hit for like a 720, 730 OPS and be solid behind the infielders, I see nothing wrong with having him on our bench. And hey, I mean, a year later, here's another opportunity for him to be a depth infielder again. Now we know Manny's going to be either full-time DH for a little bit. I mean, word is he might be ready to play third by the time the season opens, but at least for the
I
Korea
don't see that.
series, I don't think that should happen. Just to clarify,
No.
I don't think he should be playing third to start. Um, but obviously, give him a few weeks and he should be ready. But right now, it's an open competition. See who can play third. Eggy's one of those guys.
Yeah. He didn't really get a chance to. He showed off plate discipline. That was pretty much it. He walked twice yesterday, and then the starters were pretty much done. I think the only one that got 3 plate appearances was Campy, if I'm correct. Yeah. And then Solis kind of took over from there. But from his 2 plate appearances, he showed really good plate discipline. That's about it. He walked twice, didn't really have a chance to make any contact or anything, didn't steal a bag, just kind of, hey, he walked, did his job in the infield, and kind of left. Pitching wise, we had some strikeouts. Nick Hernandez, though, looked really good. The guy that came in after Vila, he struck out the side.
That's a name I haven't heard in a minute.
Yeah. Suarez, I believe, gave up the second home
Oh,
run.
God.
Dude, no, what that Wes Clark guy was on one yesterday.
Yeah.
Literally, you saw it off the bat, like against Avila. It was just, oh yeah, that's gone. Where's that going? Oh, it hit the alcohol tent right behind left field. Oh, it's still
Dude,
going.
to do that off someone, I think Suarez is going to be great this year. Do that off someone like Suarez. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he did it off of Avila too. The one against Avila went further. Suarez, not that bad. Crosgrove looked good. Motorhome was fine. Alex Jacob looked really good. He would be really nice to have back in the bullpen. He started off really well, and then had his little injury where like, no, we need the bullpen help. Why'd you go down? Yeah, he's back. He looks good. He's going to be really solid. The bullpen looks really good. I can say
That's
that.
the thing, right? It's the bullpen. The bullpen looks good, and that's a plus, right? You got a lot of depth in the bullpen. Cosgrove's going to be a nice weapon. Is it just Morehome's kind of slimmed down, kind of a lot? No,
Kinda. He's.
or is
I
it
wouldn't
just
say a
me?
lot, but he's definitely slimmer.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't say it's like concerning. It's like, okay, he probably just
yeah. I think
put
it's
on a
good.
little bit more muscle and lost a little
Mhm.
fat, and he's probably going to weigh the same, but he just looks thinner.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. A lot of depth in the bullpen. I like that. It's what was it like last year when Suarez went down? It wasn't as much depth. I think you really just had Tim Hill. It was the same guys going out there over and over and over.
Luis Garcia, Tim Hill.
Nick Martinez.
Yeah, that's right. Good old Nick.
Talk about the new jerseys. I've never seen more balls in my life.
That's a great way of putting it, Isaac.
They're horrible.
So
let's just be real. They're horrible.
yeah, a new photo came out yesterday of like the Mariners jerseys, the ones from last year and the ones from this year, and they just look horrible. They look like some stuff that we would wear during like our travel ball days that we just got keep pressed on real quick that don't look good. That it just
like there's little parts of the jersey that are crumbled. Like, what's wrong with this? It's beautiful.
It looks so good. So
they look beautiful.
At the spring training games, they were still selling jerseys that were sewn on. They weren't selling the new jerseys. They were still selling jerseys with the letter sewn on that actually looked correct. So I don't know why they have the players trying to play in these new ones. They do not look good. We saw the issues with the pants. The name, the lettering, the spacing between the name doesn't look right. It has a little rainbow going on. It just doesn't look good. The numbers don't look good. It looks like you're playing high school baseball. That's even if that you look like you have rec league uniforms going out there for children.
Well,
and these are guys who are supposed to be the best of the best, and you're giving them that? Come on.
Yeah. And to me, when I see those jerseys, personally, I see like you see the lettering and the font and how small it is. It looks like a soccer jersey to me. To me, it looks like a soccer jersey, and I
Even
like those
soccer
small.
jerseys look better
I
than
feel like they're a
that.
little bigger than that. But throughout all the time in baseball, you see like they're this looks good. This looks really good. And I don't really, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? That's one of the main things that everyone says. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That was a very good looking jersey. I don't see any point in making the letters like this big and having that big old art, the rainbow. It looks awful. I never in my wildest dreams thought it'd be Fanatics and Nike that would ruin such great looking uniforms. I think baseball has always I love the uniforms in baseball. There's classic uniforms and in no other sport, maybe other than basketball where you see like the Lakers and the Celtics, but in no other sport do you have classic jerseys like the Dodgers, like the Yankees, the Red Sox. These are like classic uniforms that have been around for as long as we can remember. Now those, because except for the Dodgers ones, but like the Red Sox and the Yankees typically don't have the last names on them, so those might not be ruined. But every
But
other
the
jersey,
numbers still gonna look like crap.
yeah, you see like there's little bunching because of the screen print. Um, yeah, it looks bad, man. It's gotta be changed. I think it's gotta be back to what it used to be.
Yeah, 100%. There's just no way. And then one, like, did you ever see the Verlander jersey? How they barely fit Verlander's last name onto his
Oh, dude,
jersey?
what are they gonna do with like Pete Crow Armstrong?
Yeah,
What about
or like a
Cronenworth?
majority of like the Latin American baseball players that have two last names. That hey, how are you going to fit that onto a jersey or Crow Armstrong onto a jersey? You're not going to be able to do that.
No. Angel de los Santos?
Yeah, De Los Santos by itself. How are you going to fit De Los Santos onto a jersey? No, that Campusano might even be
Oh my
stretching
god.
it.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? How is Nike and Fanatics putting out these jerseys and being like, yeah, you know what? This was a great decision. Players' balls are out and their last names aren't fitting on their jerseys. Great.
I wish I could tell you, bro. I don't know who was like behind the creative decision when it came to that. They need to get fired.
Yeah.
there's been
Yeah.
and there's so much outrage, dude. There's so much outrage because genuinely it's a bad looking jersey. And like,
Performance.
yeah, and dude, baseball, we're trying to get more engagement in baseball. The first thing that a viewer looks at, other than the players, is the freaking jersey. The first thing that catches the attention is like, oh dang, those are some cool jerseys. Dude, the Padres have some of the coolest, these white ones are some of the coolest jerseys in baseball that I've ever seen. No
Not only
bias
that,
there.
dude, the City Connect jerseys.
Oh,
They
yeah, I know.
made a huge splash with like the South Side Chicago jerseys, the
Fire.
Miami jerseys,
Wrigleyville,
the
fire.
Padres jerseys, the Space City jerseys, fire. The Wrigleyville ones grew on me. Like they've done really well with most of the City Connect jerseys, where even people outside of baseball are wearing them just because of how good they look.
Yep.
And you're gonna ruin it with that? Don't get me
It's
wrong, they're
just,
redoing the Dodger ones, so I'm curious to see what they do because the pajama thing would look shit. There's no other way to put it.
yeah, it's really disappointing what they did with these jerseys, but there's an easy fix. Now, we know sports brands, sports owners, they tend to be very, very, very stubborn when it comes to change. Extremely stubborn. So I don't think there will be change, but there needs to be change. That is something that absolutely cannot happen. There was no reason to change. Dude, why would you change pants? What was wrong with the pants? I don't understand. Like
They weren't see-through enough, obviously.
now you got like instead of one ball being thrown, you got like 18,
3.
20 balls.
Dude,
um,
it's God. Can't believe we're having this problem at the MLB level in the spring training. This, if I had a bingo card for how the MLB season was going, that was not going to be on there. I'm
no,
not going to lie
no,
to you.
no. Definitely wouldn't have been the one in the middle. Um, But that's all I really got. I mean, jerseys look like shit. Excuse my language. Um, Padres look like bad. And it's not a bad thing that they look bad, right? It's not a bad thing. It's 3 games in. They got time. Spring training, they're working on things. I'm gonna put a little more of an emphasis on spring training than I did in the past because right now we're trying to see who's gonna make the starting roster, who's gonna fill out the empty spots out there.
Yeah.
And because last year was a really bad spring training, and nonetheless they ended up being a really bad team. So I'm gonna put a little more of an emphasis on it. We're gonna be keeping up daily with guys that are out there performing. We'll check out. I mean, as far as pitchers go, of course, the guys we're gonna keep an eye on are like Vasquez, Brito, Michael King, Yuki Matsui, Delos Santos, Thorpe. All these guys that are kind of young that are now coming into the Padres and we're hoping can make an impact. As far as at the plate goes, me personally, the main guy I'm gonna be looking at is Jackson Merrill, but you also got to look at guys like Martorella, Marcy, Campusano, maybe not Higgy. We know he's not going to be a good bat, but just the guy Profar, I guess, but just some young guys that we think are going to be competing for roster spots are going to be the guys that we're going to be paying attention to more than the stars.
Yeah. Let's see, bat wise. Oh yeah, Marcano might somehow make it into the outfield. So there's that. We forgot about our good old boy Marcano. So let's see, in the invitees we have. Kevin Kopps could potentially come in as a reliever.
Oh my God, I haven't heard that.
I know we were talking about Moises Lugo. He's an invitee. Adam Muzar is an invitee. Thorpe, Snelling. Those are all guys we're going to be keeping an eye out for spring training. I don't think they're going to really do anything like make rosters. Ethan Salas, of course. Nathan Mortarella. Graham Pauly would probably be another bat that we keep an eye out. Jackson Merrill.
Oh, yeah. You have to, yeah.
Jacob Marcy. Tirso Ornales. That's kind of really it. There's not a ton of guys where we're going to be like super excited about. Outfielder wise, we don't really have anybody like Tirso Ornales. He's been a top prospect. He's 23 years old. This is kind of like make or break for him. He's supposed to have a decent amount of power. He hits lefty too, which would be great. He's a natural left fielder. So it wouldn't be bad. Jackson Merrill, he's only 20, and we're pushing him to the major leagues, which it's not a bad thing. He has the talent to do so. I'd like to see his ground ball rate go down a little bit. Graham Pauly could potentially – he has the power to do so. He could make a good third baseman, temporary third baseman, so he can Eggy. But he also provides another lefty bat. So it's one of those things where – some of these guys, within the next couple of years could be good, but we kind of need them now. And
yeah, you kind of have to hold your breath and hope that they're good now.
Yeah.
This is so reminiscent of like 2022, where you ended up having to throw Nomar Mazara, Jose Azocar.
And Mazara was good for a couple games for like a week or two.
He actually helped a lot.
So did Odor last year.
Odor, yeah, Rugi. Jerickson Profar was your full-time left fielder. Holy crap. I don't know what to think, bro. Hopefully it ends up like 2022, right? Hopefully you get that. I don't see it. I think it's going to be a long season for the Padres too, if I'm going to be completely honest. Unfortunate because you're wasting prime years of your stars, but only one man to blame. And his name rhymes with B.J. Breller.
That's the best you could do.
Off the top of my head, yeah, that is all I have. B.J. Breller.
All right, guys. Well, if you guys have any last-minute questions, go ahead. Really don't have anything else to cover. Oh, good sir Jeremiah Estrada looked good in his outing. We haven't seen Wandy Peralta yet. For those who don't know, we played baseball against Jeremiah, and so it's kind of nice to see the hometown kid go on the Padres and potentially make a roster spot.
Yeah, he looked good.
Gives us some,
He definitely looked good.
yeah,
I think he threw like 12 pitches and struck out the side.
yeah, that's a really good inning. You can't ask for more than that.
Yeah, as far as like any other guys, I don't know, man. I don't know who's really been out there throwing. I haven't been keeping up with like too many. Um, I mean, the main guys I want to keep eyes on aren't. They either haven't pitched or they've only pitched like an inning or two. So I don't really haven't
And
really.
it's mainly the starters that we're keeping an eye out on. The bullpen seems pretty flushed out.
Yeah,
There might be a surprise here or there for like bullpen battle spots, but with the additional depth that they've signed, it's all eyes are on the starters.
exactly. That's the way it has to be, right? Because you have guys competing for that fourth and fifth spot, especially. And you gotta sign a lefty. I mean, it's not a priority. I think the other priorities are much more important, but ideally you get a lefty before actual games start.
Hey, unless they throw a Motorhome out there for the sixth time and see how that works for the sixth time.
I mean, if they do that again, it's just gonna end up in injury for the sixth time.
Isn't that the definition of insanity?
Yep.
Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I kind of feel like that's what we talk about a lot with AJ Preller. He does the same thing over and over and expects a different result. The only thing I can
Yeah.
say is there's not a lot of Rangers this year on the Padres. There
Oh,
hasn't
thank
been.
God. I just want to let you know, Devin said the 49ers lost. I don't know if you knew that.
I was ignoring that. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, I can read, Isaac. I have glasses for a reason.
Yeah, that was I think that after that night, I don't think I heard. Maybe I heard a word from Chase, but from the other 40, dude, I didn't hear a word from Matt. I don't think I heard a word from Matt.
One of my coworkers put his phone on D&D and was not responding to anybody. They're like checking up on him, and he just wasn't responding. I came into work the next day with another one of the 49ers fans, and since I work at Topgolf, they have all the TVs on sports channels, right? I walk in and all I see are recap reviews of the game, where it went wrong. And I go downstairs to where there's no TVs, and I look at one of my managers. He goes, "You ready to talk about it?" I go, "Nope." "Are you ready to talk about it?" He goes, "Nope." I was like, "I can't be upstairs." I was upstairs for like 5 minutes, and I was like, "Yeah, all of it's coming back to me and why I'm so mad." He goes, "Yep, haven't been upstairs because I don't want to look at the TVs."
I don't think I got a text from Matt for 2 or 3 days. And one of the first texts we got from Matt was that was one of the worst losses he's ever seen in his life. So that kind of tells you a lot about how Chase and Matt felt about the 49ers losing. Now, keep in mind, I hate the Chiefs probably more than the 49ers.
Shut up.
But
you don't have to say anything.
But either way, I was gonna enjoy whoever lost, and I did. So, yeah. Sorry to have to bring that up again, Chase. I just thought that was a very funny thing to comment.
I would throw the bird up right now, but we're on YouTube, so.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to talk about. Chase, do you?
No, you just had to bring that last thing up. I know.
Man, what was the other years they went? 2020 and
2019.
Yeah, that was 2019. What was the year that they lost to the Ravens?
2008? 2009?
No, I think that was I think we were in 7th grade, so 2013.
Oh shit, was it that? Oh yeah, it was when we were in 7th grade. I thought it was earlier than that. Yeah, 2013. Yeah, thank you for those reminders. Someone joked with me. They're like, "Oh, watch the power go out at halftime." I'm like, why do you have to bring that up?
That ended up being a good thing for you guys.
It's like, no, stop. Please.
No, Devin, the Chargers aren't going to beat the Chiefs, even with Harbaugh. I know this. Okay, I know we suck.
See, here's the best part is I don't have to say anything that Isaac doesn't know already about the
No, yeah,
Chargers.
everything that he says, I'm already very used to, and I've seen much worse.
Yeah, that's true.
I tell myself much worse.
You should see this guy during football season. He's not a very happy man. The only thing that keeps him going is fantasy, and then when his fantasy team doesn't do good, it just kind of goes down from there.
Sundays are bad days usually, so I don't. A lot of people look forward to Sundays. Fuck Sundays.
You're like, well, the Chargers are up. I wonder how they're gonna blow it today. Is usually how Isaac answers the chat.
That's actually exactly. I normally predict my Sundays. I could predict a Sunday now against the Chiefs, but I won't, just for the sake of I'm not ready for that. Anyway,
we just got out of football season. Now I have to mentally prepare myself to watch the Padres. Which here's the worst part. I was like, well, I watched the Super Bowl loss of a lifetime, and now I have to watch the Padres for a full season.
Yeah, and
I must hate myself.
Like in 2023, when like I'm sure for you, after they lost to the Eagles, it was like, hey, the Padres have Juan Soto, Xander Bogaerts, Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis, top rotation, great bullpen. I'm sure it was exciting. This year it's damn, bro. The Chargers just went like 5-12 or whatever it was. For me last year, it was, oh, hey, well, they blew a 27-0 lead, but I think the Padres are going to make the World Series. And nothing happened.
So. Life came at us fast.
Yeah,
Padres came at us fast.
Yep. So anyway, that's all I got. Chase, if you got anything, you can go ahead and interrupt me. But thank you guys for tuning in. I don't know how often we're going to be doing these on Sundays. Probably pretty often, considering like it's our off days. Chase might get called into work later for all I know, so maybe it's not his off day. Matt is in somewhere out of the United States right now. I don't remember. So he'll be on. I think it's Puerto Rico. Yeah. He'll be on in future Sundays. We'll be having 1 or 2 videos, maybe 3 every week up until the start of spring training, or up until the start of the regular season. So keep tabs. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about. That'd be heavily, heavily appreciated, because lately it's been tough to figure out what we should talk about. So it'd be greatly appreciated if you guys could let us know topics that you're interested in. And we'll try and keep a set schedule. I know it's a little tough for you guys to, kind of know when a video should be expected, but hopefully these upcoming weeks, if you follow us on Twitter, we'll try and let you know a day or 2 before when a video will be coming out. So thank you guys for tuning in. Chase, if you have anything, go ahead.
I think Sundays are going to be our live stream days, so hopefully we can keep that on a consistent schedule for you guys. But other than that, I think we're good here. Peace out. You guys have a nice day. Enjoy your Sunday.